6 months ago, I had a kiss with a boy. Oh! And not just any boy, a man! Yes! Fantastic! So exciting! I'm not going to tell you his name because he's mine and you can't have him. But I will state he looks very much like if Virginia Woolf came back as a millennial man. Just leave that to your own imaginations there. And the reason I knew this was a good thing is because the kiss, there was an equal amount of biting on both sides. Yes, don't be afraid to laugh at that. We all know how exciting it can be when suddenly you're like, oh, good, we've got perfectly matched appetites. You know, I'm a person who likes a well-proportioned picnic, and that's not a euphemism. I get very anxious if I think, oh, I'm going to have to count out my teaspoons, you know, whilst we're sharing a tiramisu, one after the other, after the other. Have I had too much? You always come away dissatisfied, full of another cunt's cream. It's not okay. If anybody feels uncomfortable about cunt's cream, by the way, I tried cunt's custard for a while. But everybody knows there's no custard in a tiramisu, and I don't look like the kind of person who takes a trifle to a picnic. No matter how many times you put them on a bog-off Tesco, I just don't like them with jelly. The other reason I knew the kiss was... Oh, yes, please, is because 2 boys stopped to watch. This is at 11 p.m. at night, Soho Square, the centre of London. These boys, they must have been about 13, 14. They were drinking each 2-litre cartons. We've all guessed it, the devil's drink, pomegranate Rubicon. Knocking that back. And at one point, one of them shouted, "Hey, man, I can show you how to make a squirt." At which point I had to stop and say, "Oh, thank you very much indeed. But I've actually already been to a female ejaculation workshop by accident." Which was a lie, because I walked into it eyes wide open. Quite literally. That's why when the workshop leader got going, I got it right in the peepers. Anyway... it's called Sacred Squirting on Facebook. How could you not know? So I said to them, look, I've already been to this female ejaculation workshop by accident. And try as I might, heaps of hands-on homework. It's just not in my nature. They looked slightly disappointed on my behalf, but went back to sipping their pommy rube regardless. We went back to the kiss. Shortly after that, we separated. He cycled off one way, I cycled the other. At which point, the boys who I was going past took their chance to give me a little grab on the batam. I was so shocked. In their defence, I was offering it out. My haunches were quite high because I was just setting off. And we'd had a Szechuan, which was sitting rather heavy. So I was going a little slower than I otherwise would have. Who would have known it wasn't a first date? Safe treat. So they grabbed me by the bum, really got in there. And it was such a shock to me because I think I'm a cycler. I cycle all over London. And when I'm on my bike, I always have just thought, you can't catch me. You know? That's my impression of a slippery fish. I said to the film crew, all my movements are very dynamic, but that one is quite slippery. It's when I'm walking, that's when I think, oh, okay. When's my body going to be weaponized against me now? You know? When's my body going to be weaponized against me next? Do we know this phrase? The body being weaponized. The female body especially being weaponized. I read it in a book called Women, Sexuality and the Political Power of Pleasure. Oh, sorry, Helen. We'll stop you there. We just need to go upstairs from this basement bunker, get some signal and order that one on Amazon. It was written by this group of feminist academics working in international development. Sign me up for Prime!